Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for, being here with us. Every chance that you get to listen to another story here at Latin Financial Podcast makes me happy, makes me happy to share everything that is going on with people in our community, people that we know, and their journeys. So I got somebody really special here, Paul Caraballo.
How you guys doing out there?
Bienvenido, Paul. Welcome to Latin Financial.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank you for taking the time. I know that today is a holiday, and what a coincidence that your journey related to faith. We're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes.
Right.
And we're doing the podcast today. So we're going to talk about your journey and faith and stay tuned. So, Paul, thank you for stopping by.
No, thank you. I'm honored.
And you want to tell us a little bit about your journey, who you are right now, and then we're going to talk about little things about your story.
Okay.
So, who's Paul?
I'm Paul Caraballo. I was born and raised in Hartford, 49 years old, born and raised in Charter Oak. Then I moved to the North End, which, back in the days, everything was crazy. It went from
Tough.
posses to
Yes.
now gang members. But, through all that, some of us are still here and enjoying, what God and life brings us instead of, going the wrong way. And some of us did go the wrong way and, we found our way back.
It's like anything in life, you go through hard times, hardships, and either you're going to decide what route to go, if you're going to continue to do the same, or you're going to do something else to make the change. So that got me into, you had, obviously a rough upbringing, and you talk about it a lot, and, to help others. Um, how bad it was, in the past,
Well, like I said, growing up, I came from the south side of Hartford to move to the north end of Hartford, and everything was posses and gang members. I stayed neutral myself, but at the end of the day, I always maintained who I was, my name, my respect, and not, you know, get into different violence and stuff like that. Because when the people that I grew up with were my friends, and why would I go against one of my friends because he's in the opposite or he's a different color or whatever the case may be from a different side of Hartford? I look at it like Hartford, we're together. We're supposed to be together regardless what.
Yeah.
And a community should be together. And that's something that divides us when it comes to, color, what part of town you from, or the things that we're doing in these streets. Like I'm too grown for that already.
That mentality, right? That it was just put in your head. You should be with certain people, not with the other ones, and so divisive.
Right.
But I'm glad that you did a change, and obviously we're gonna talk about that in obviously today because it's related to faith. Right. I put some little notes over here, which I usually go unscripted.
Right.
So I wanted to know, growing up in Hartford, which it made a change into who you are right now, right? So when did it change? When did you said enough is enough? I'm gonna go. What made you change? It was a specific time, or certain things that happened in your life. Can you tell us a little bit?
I'm gonna tell you a long and short kind of thing. But growing up, like I said, I was in Hartford, grew up in Charter Oak, moved to the North End, and then at the age of, I would say 15, 16, I left my mom's house and I became an adult.
Young. Yeah.
Yes, I became an adult because you know how us Latin with the Latin women, we gotta follow their rules. If we don't want to follow their rules,
if you don't like it, that's the door, right?
Get out, right?
Oh, God,
so
yeah.
I was a hardhead. Growing up, I was hardhead. So I decided to leave the house And that was a beginning to destruction, I would say, because being with her, I was born and raised in church since I was a baby. Her church was right on Main Street, across the street from Bonner Brown, and that when I left, I didn't just lose myself, but I also lost structure because I thought that as being a young person, ignorance took place, and I thought that I can do anything and everything by myself.
Unstoppable. When you're
Right,
young, you think that you can do anything, and you're always right. I can imagine.
right.
So because you had a rough upbringing and everything else. Um, I know that it changed your life. How the church and faith came into your life?
It became at I kept going back and forth, incarcerated back and forth because of the stuff that I was doing in the streets. But in the year of 2014, I decided that enough was enough. I'm like, like I kept
That's it.
bumping my head into that brick wall, and it's like, if I'm not rich now, I'm not gonna be rich continuing doing what I'm doing. So at 2014, that was my final time being incarcerated. 2015, I came out, finishing the 2014 incarceration, and I was church hopping for a little bit, trying to find my way again. And I pledged to God. I got pretty much on my knees and asked God in 2014 before I came out of being incarcerated to help me find my way. And if He did, then I would commit myself to Him. And that's a lot of things that people do. They commit, but when things start getting better,
Yeah,
they start slipping again.
that's so
So that's
true.
something that I didn't want to repeat that cycle again. So that was one thing. 2015, I came home, started church hopping, found the right church, which is Crossroads in East Hartford. Um, right there, I met a lot of good people. I started doing Bible study. I started doing a lot of men's group. I started finding myself slowly but surely.
Hmm.
God was opening
Guiding
those
you,
doors.
yeah.
Yes, because it's like coming out of incarceration. People don't give you that chance.
Do you think it's because of that? People have that mentality of, oh, you had a past, and you don't deserve to have a second chance.
Of course, everybody gets judged
Yeah,
just by the different. I look different now. I'm not the same. I talk better. I dress better. My whole
mentality.
mentality
That's
is
good.
different. Like if you were to see me 10 years ago, you'd have been like, he's not gonna change. That's a home that like they
Uh-huh.
say.
Yeah.
So, but God working in me and me working and fixing myself because that's where you have to start. You have to start within yourself. You have to look in the mirror and be like, let's change. Or if not, you're
You're
gonna get
gonna
stuck
forever. Yeah.
forever, you know?
That routine about going back, and I was gonna ask you that if you know somebody who that it feels like it's stuck in their past, what advice you have to give them, now, not from 10 years ago, but
But
right
now,
now.
I would say, you know, find a God fearing church and be true to yourself. Don't worry about what other people say because a lot of people could say anything. You could be the richest guy, but there's always something, they'll find something always wrong. You could be the poorest guy and they'll find something wrong. So just be true to yourself. That's what I say, and that's how I changed. I became true to myself. I started doing positive instead of negative. I met a lot of good people. Like I said, when I started going to church, I started networking, not only going to Bible study, but I started to network. I started to meet the people that God put in my path. And I started doing things the right way.
That's amazing. Seriously, I'm so proud of you know. I had the chance to talk to you before, and through Veronica, I'm pretty sure you're watching. You know, so shout out to Vero.
Shout out to
Uh,
V.
but you know, I'm that's an example, you know, basically how to, and everybody has a, you know, a tough, you know, maybe not a tough upbringing, but a tough past that you can actually say, you know, you have the right to be happy and do better. And you're doing, you know, things with the community. And that's what we want to talk about.
Right.
Talk to me about, you know, this new journey about the community that you're doing right now.
Now, I was serving before. I was participating with CICD, and I was doing
Shout out to CICD.
yes, the Puerto Rican parade. You know, we gotta stick to our Latin roots.
Yeah.
But you know, I was doing some volunteer work for them, and you know, some people do it to have accreditation to go to court, show court that they do. I
Mhm.
did it for myself because I didn't have to show court anything. But that was one path that, or one avenue that I wanted to take to show that I can be a positive influence or a role model in this community, especially when it comes to now and even before, because this is where I started doing wrong as a youth. And, you know, the youth don't have that positivity, and all they want to do is listen to whatever is being played, the rap music, because that's a lot of influence in that about money, women, cars, all that. But you could attain all that the right way.
It's a fake lifestyle,
Right.
you know.
Just like we go to work full time,
Yeah.
that's their job full time to
Yeah.
rap about what's gonna make them money. But I started doing that, and then I started doing feeding the homeless on Bernard Park in Hartford. And then I also collaborated with a church. It's called City Streets, and I just seen them every Saturday in front of City Hall, and they just go out there and they feed the homeless, which it caught my attention because I was just doing it on Thanksgiving.
Um,
So yes, that was a big thing, and I started just joining them every Saturday.
Can you imagine, you know, obviously doing that, you know, you maybe think, okay, I'm going to start doing, like you said, once a year. And then all of a sudden you're involved with the community, being involved in the right organization, like you did with CICD. You know, obviously you did it for yourself, but I'm pretty sure you saw all, you know, the organization helping the community and you got inspired.
Right.
Who are, you know, the people influencing, you know, right now in your growth and your change? Do you have pastors? Do you have somebody in a specific that he told you, hey, listen, you can do it?
Right.
You know,
My pastor right now, currently, I have a few in Crossroads. Obviously, there's a few of them. But my professor right now, he's also my pastor. He gave me that push. He was like, you know, I see something good in you, and you're already being productive, and you're already doing the work. So won't you just sign up for school and get accredited for it and get something for yourself when you get older? You don't have to, you know, go crazy looking for work or anything. It'll just fall right in your lap. And having faith, you know, because everything we do is not like, oh, let me just take a chance.
mm-hmm.
Taking that chance is really God pushing you to give him that faith.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. See, we talked about this before we went live, you know, communicating about, you know, faith. I believe in God, you know, I don't talk about it
Right.
publicly, you know, and I think that there is a stigma about, you know, talking about it, not because I don't want to,
Right.
maybe because I got to educate myself and, you know, I do, you know, go to, you know, visit churches. It just I haven't
Right.
found the right one for me, I think.
And that's fine.
But
Everybody will get to that where they're supposed to be.
and that's what I wanted to ask you because you grew up, you know, in church, went back to church, and now that's what you're doing. You know, it's part of who you are.
Right.
Any advices, you know, for those who, like myself, you know, want to visit or want to find the right one, but we don't know. We don't know where to start. You know,
I started at just church hopping because I
Okay.
went back to where I was born and raised, but their ways is like strict. Like Spanish churches, they don't play. Like
Mm.
women can't wear no earrings, can't wear no pants. But if you really look in the Bible, the God says just come as you are. And then that's when you start changing yourself. So like I said, when I started 10 years ago, I didn't look like how I look now. But getting into the word and being around the right people is what made me change, is what made me go to I wouldn't go. That's when I met you 6 months
I
ago
know.
at the event. You will never catch me at no networking event and
But
nothing
you
like
saw
that.
how good it is to network and to talk to others and to it wasn't like you were preaching about, I would have not
Right,
known that you were in this journey.
right,
But it's the right places and surrounding with the right people,
right, right,
But that's amazing. See? Well,
right.
listen, we're gonna see each other in a lot of different other events.
Of
So
course, of course. And like I said, I'm honored for you having me here because like I've never done a podcast, but for you
welcome.
to
He's doing amazing. Come on, guys.
for you to like invite me to something and to put what I've been through and my journey and what I'm doing now out in the public general instead of me going out there and working for it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm working for it now, but when you stream like this, it goes to so many places that you don't even know.
Absolutely. Somebody may be, listening right now and saying, I would like to, and your information is going to be tagged if anybody has any questions and everything else to reach out to you directly. I'm pretty sure that help whoever it is just to guide, you are helping others,
Right, right.
And talking about helping others, talk to me about, your deer.
Yes, this is the new organization that we just came out with.
Look at
Obviously, it's
God.
Veronica Ruiz idea, a dream, and nobody and never, I know she worked in the community a lot with different organizations
All
and
her license. So, I know Vero. Yeah.
right. So and we had mutual friends, and I met her through a mutual friend, and she spoke to me about her dreams and something that I wanted to do as well. And like I said, meeting people in the right places. God put people at the right time when you need them.
Absolutely.
And we met. She told me her dream, and it was at the same as mine, and I always like the youth, so I kind of pitched my idea to her, and it's working. It's called Visionary Youth. She's the CEO. I'm the COO, and like I said, we started 2 months ago in November.
And what do you guys do exactly?
We provide for the community since November till now. We already have done 4 events. We ended the
Mm.
year with 3, and we've just been helping the community, helping the youth. And like I said, coming to these events that she's been introducing me to, I just be networking. She goes her way because she already knows tons of people. But I once I start talking, I just start networking, and it's another avenue on how to reflect on and build yourself as a professional and as a person in the community, and that's why I say that I like being faithful because even though I was incarcerated during the years passed by so quick that I was able to get an early pardon.
Amen to
So
that. That's good.
God is always there. Like I said, as long as you have faith, He'll open doors that you think doors won't be open. And like you said, people have stigma when it comes to religion, but when
Hmm.
something happens to them, what's the first thing they say? I need prayer.
I need.
I need a prayer. I need, my parents or my significant other has cancer. Can you guys give me prayer?
Yeah.
But there shouldn't be no stigma. Everybody has a religion, and
Yeah. They should, I think we should, obviously we do I mean, I can only speak, about myself, but it's true. I never done I had this podcast for 2 years, it just on and off. But I only had one person, shout out to Iram, that he came into this office and he talked to me about God, and it wasn't like you both have a sense of talking to others
Right.
without como no es como antes, como
Forcing
que
it.
forcing it.
Right.
Yes.
It comes natural.
It's like a conversation. Hey,
Right.
listen, you think about this, and I like that. I like not being pushed or rushed to something that I know that is there for me.
Right.
But we don't talk about it much,
Right.
and maybe this 2026, absolutely, I'm gonna put it in my
Hey, you
my
never
bucket
know.
list, like, hey,
Right.
listen, talk about it. Or I do read, but the Bible, it just, I don't speak to others about it. Isn't
Right.
that crazy?
Right.
Huh.
But just it comes in time. And like I said, how I started church hopping until I found the right one, and I felt comfortable. It's a big church, and sometimes I wanted to just be incognito. Now everybody in church know me, and
Oh,
it's a big church.
but that's good. That means that you're
Right.
making if everybody knows you, is because one, you're being consistent, you're being there, every Sunday and
Right.
in other times. So that's super good. I want to talk to you about purpose, because you're right now going to school. We
Right.
were talking about it a couple of minutes ago, and I'm
Yes.
so proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
tell us why, when you started, and what are you studying?
I started last year. Now it's a year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you, thank you. I've done 2 semesters now, got them down out the way. I haven't been in school since 1994.
Woo!
So for me to go to school, I was hesitant. But I'm anal in things that I do, and I want to do things like I said, the right way.
Yeah.
And looking ahead in the future is like this is what we need. We need education, and behind that education is where you learn to be a leader and be a great leader and pass it along the baton to someone else to be another great leader and just keep this moving. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to school for ministerial leadership. I'm going for my bachelor's. I got a year already done. I've hit the dean list twice. So,
See, anything is possible. You maybe last year before you started, you were like, "Oh, I don't know, it's been too long." Why not? Look at
right,
you a year later, like you said, the anniversary, and you sharing that, and it's improving you. You're
right.
doing something good for yourself, not for others, but you're taking
Yes,
care of
for
yourself, which is
myself.
awesome.
Right. And like I was, saying earlier before we went live, it's like we hold ourselves back because
Mhm.
we're like, nah, I don't got time for that. But when you really look at it, time goes by so fast that it's like 10 years will pass by and you're like, I could have got my master's by now.
Mhm.
But, once we have something put in front of us, it's like we're hesitant to do it. Unless you're really committed to it, you want to put everything on a back burner, procrastinate. I'll do it next year. I'll do it next year. Before you know it, it's like you could have had an education or a degree already in something.
Right. Oh my
Right.
goodness. But I'm so, so, so proud of you. You have no idea the little time that I got to know you, and I know we're going to spend a lot more time and a lot of other events. I'm going to definitely see you there, and I'm going to go and visit your events too, because, that's how we help each other.
Right.
The community has a sense, right now more than ever, to we need each other. We need to,
Right.
positive things and positive community, helping each other. It just is so important right now. So let me go for the closing remarks.
Okay.
Let's talk about legacy, because you are a father,
Right.
as well. You um, besides being a man of faith, what is a legacy? What do you want to leave to your kids? In terms about not financially, just what do you want to leave them in the sense of who you are right now?
I want to leave myself not only what I have done, but I also want him to know that regardless how I started or how he met me, he's 30 years old now. I only have one son.
Okay.
So it's like my dad made a big change in his life. I knew him or a little bit about him because I didn't show him everything when I was in the street. But now he sees the positive that I'm doing in the streets. He sees me faithfully going to church, me being a positive influence, not only for myself but for others. And you know, again, I would like to thank Veronica because when she introduced this, um, her dream and her pitch, and once she said, "Oh, this is I wanted to name it Visionary Youth."
I love the name, by the way.
Right. When
I
you
love
see
that.
this, you
Yeah.
see this. We
Yeah.
everywhere. We're gonna
And
be
like, wait a
everywhere.
minute, I want to sit over here so I can.
Right.
Huh?
We're gonna be everywhere because we started off as it's a small organization, but we put in our paperwork for our nonprofit. In
Yeah.
3 months, we everything we've been doing been out of our pocket, but
That's
again,
gonna pay off. That's every single, I call it, sweat equity.
right.
Everything that you guys do right now, you gonna get 10 times, and it's not what you're gonna get; it's what you're gonna give to others
Give
in the community.
right, right,
And doing that jump, as a nonprofit, I told Vero, I can't wait because you guys are gonna do amazing things in the community.
right.
It's
So our name is already out there ringing bells, and it's only been 3 months. We just got our board set up. We got
I know. So
yes,
congratulations.
we
Yeah.
got four other beautiful women. I'm like the only man, so I'm lucky
Okay.
being in this
In the future,
organization.
you fight for another man in the board.
No, but we're doing awesome. Like I said, we're gaining traction. We're in the community. People already know us. Like I said, people already know her for her work. People knew me. So
Yeah.
collaborating together and creating this organization is just amazing because it's opening doors that people didn't think that couldn't be open. And
Absolutely.
you know, I applaud her for continually doing what she's doing and always keeping her dream alive. And Martin Luther King Day, so keep your dream alive.
Oh, there
You
you
know,
go. Well, we're
right?
gonna end up with something. I wanted to ask you, because it's Martin Luther King Day. I'm killing it right now. You wanna give us a message on today, for other youngsters or everybody. It doesn't matter about the age bracket, the nationality. What message you want to bring to them?
Um, I would say just look in yourself. Find the positive in yourself. You have a lot of peers, a lot of kids, a lot of friends that are gonna steer you the wrong way. But inside of you, you know what's right and wrong. We have that in us that nudges us like, oh, that's not being right. We're not supposed to be doing this, but you want to be cool and you want to be a part of. So just be different. So being a part of something is being different. So just be different and do things the positive way. You'll get more out of it than negative stuff. I'd rather be in the news now, um, being doing something positive than being
Yeah.
in the news going to jail for 20, 30 years. Like,
Oh man.
and that's
And
all you hear is like, oh, I knew that person. He
from
was
back
such a
then,
good
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
And look, now he's doing time or
Well, I'm pretty sure first of all, you've been doing this for a long time. I'm super proud of you. Don't change because you are raw. You tell it like it is, and those are one of the qualities that you don't want to lose yourself.
right.
So continue doing what you're doing, and I wanted to say thank you for coming over.
No,
To
thank you.
everybody, we lost the track over here, but we got the full interview here, so I'm gonna download it. Everybody's gonna see it, but I really appreciate you. Keep on doing what you're doing, and you got a community behind you. So
Thank
don't
you.
ever forget that. That's
Thank you.
something that you're doing it for. yourself and as your own man that we need men, in
Right.
our community, doing what you're doing. So I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Welcome and thank
No,
you.
thank
And to
you.
all of you, thank you so much. Full episodes are going to be in YouTube so you guys can share. And if you have any questions, his information is going to be here. So reach out to him. So thank you, Paul.
Visionary youth, don't forget
Let's
about it. We
go.
out here.
Thank you.
Thank you.